Society doesn't always try to silence people because they're wrong. Sometimes society tries to silence people because they are right way too soon. In today's show, we're going to talk about some of those disruptors. Stay tuned to find out who they are. Well, welcome to Just So You Know. What's up, you guys? I am Alethea Jenkins and I am your host. To all of my subscribers, welcome back, you guys. And to my newbies, what's up? And I am so glad that you have decided to hang out with your girl a little bit, have a few conversations. So, we're just going to get right into it because today we are talking about the great thinkers, the great truth tellers, the great disruptors of our generation. And this came by way of my video that I did the other day when I talked about the spirit tunnels and the Jennifer Hudson show. And somebody chimed in, right? And any comments, okay, that meant you watched what I put out. Okay, thank you. But you decided to leave a comment that was disagreeable. Okay. You deserve to have your opinion. But I decided to do a show about this today because at the end of the day, the whole point to me even being on here is to give people information that will challenge the status quo. For one thing, I'm even on here. Let me tell y'all what I do before I even get down into it. I encourage women to take accountability for their actions and I clear up a lot of the blurred lines that society throws at us. So I know that that's a whole mouthful because y'all know in today's times we need the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
So when they say, listen, who gonna tell the truth? Y'all know I raised my hand because my name means truth. So anywho, go back and watch that show or just go look at the comments. And my thing is not to start a comment war with anybody because this is my show. This is my platform. Look, you got a choice whether to watch it or not. If you don't like what I'm saying, you guess what you can do? Just it's easy. It is easy as one, two, three not to hear what I have to say, right? You ain't got to leave me no little nasty gram or whatsoever you thinking that you're gonna do because I'm gonna say what I want to say on my platform, right? Yet I am going to try to be respectful. I'm going to make my opinions, rooted in fact, right? And we're gonna keep it moving from there. But what people are not gonna do is come for me, and I didn't even send for you because you can very well not watch what I am doing. Okay, so get off your soapbox, Alethea. Okay, I'm down. I'm down. But it got me to thinking about like who do people think they are? Telling you what you should and should not do. Because at the end of the day, I get it that we can offer our opinion, but when this is your platform, and when you are speaking to the people who are in agreement with you or have had the same mindset to whatever extent, okay, who you think you are, right? Anywho, so yeah, I was a little irritated by that, and um but I have learned on the best platform that there is to learn how to handle that. So I'm on TikTok and I do TikTok lives all the time. And I have an amazing audience. Now I got about two little members out there. I got a few more than that. But I haven't been doing it all that long, but I've been doing it long enough. And I have a nice little following of people that come to watch me, whether I do it at night or I do some type of morning meditation. And what I learned from TikTok, number one, is a very fast platform, and you can just see people, logging into your live. And I've never done a live here on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. So you can just see people logging into your live, people coming in, people going, people coming in, people going, like as if it were a literal platform, you could see people just walking by, coming in, leaving out. You understand what I'm saying? So what I learned about that platform was that um any and everybody coming up through there. Anybody that has access to the internet, which y'all know that the world that we live in is not mentally fully mentally stable. Most folk got something going on. And then you get those very interesting people that are trolling, right? They're coming in saying random stuff about the president. They're coming in calling you the N word. They're coming in saying what's the never. And so when I first got on that platform, I was like, well, what in the blue blazers is this? And why is it that these people are able to come in and say this? I thought that there were community guidelines, right? Just like they have community guidelines here on YouTube. But no, they allows it. And they come in and say, I mean, I've been called the N-word, I've been called whatever. So when I first got on, I was like, oh, no, you didn't. So I felt like I needed to defend myself because you know that sends you into fight or flight mode and it gives you all types of anxiety. So all of a sudden you're talking about whatever you're talking about, and all of a sudden you see the N-word down there. And you're like, this what you doing? Or they call you old, or they call something to get you riled up. And so I would speak to it. I would stop saying what I was saying to speak to it. And I had to learn against that because I decided that, okay, this is a distraction. The person on the other end has nothing better to do than to sit and to say something negative, right? I don't even know the point of leaving a negative comment. I really don't know the point of just not watching them. Or not, or giving a person a thumbs down, just don't watch them. That's the because what you're doing when you're watching me is you're to an extent helping me because you're giving me a view, right? So trust me, if you don't like what I'm saying on my platform, don't subscribe, don't watch. But at the end of the day, what good does it do to leave me a negative comment when it's not going to make a difference to me anyway? I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm going to continue to speak on my platform to what I feel like I've been called to speak. So, on TikTok, you got all that going on. But so after I was on there a few weeks, I said, "Oh, so this is going to keep going. Oh, so this is going to keep happening." And now they catch the words. They don't like saying crazy, and they don't like saying certain. They don't like you saying certain words on that, but they can get away with saying X, Y, Z. So I learned, I said, now wait a minute, this just seems like a distraction. This person don't know me, I don't know them. The best thing to do is to ignore it and to not give them any ammunition or power to continue to continue to talking. So one night I was in the TikTok, and I'm getting to it. I'm getting to our topic today because I'm gonna get to it. But I had to take y'all the long scenic route. So I'm in now one night, and somebody gets on there talking crazy. When I tell you, the people who normally follow me, they just jumped all over that. They when I tell you, they just start, who are you to say that? And such and such. I had to literally tell them that y'all don't worry about it. Just it's all good. This is just a troll. They're just doing XYD just because the people rebelled. I didn't have to tell them, hey, go get him. I don't have any kind of, I'm not sicking anybody on anybody. And if anything, like I said, I'm gonna ignore you. That's the best medicine for someone who's going to leave something negative. And so when this came around with this show yesterday, I understood this is the same type thing. This is somebody that probably not utilizing a platform or just trolling, don't have anything else to do, don't have any life to live, just got just want to disrupt the process, right? Because there is good disruption. I'm talking about this person was, whatever. Gonna attack it with either love, or I'm gonna not, I'm just gonna ignore you. But it caused me to think about. Where is it that where are our truth tellers? Where are our truth tellers of our generation? And have we given them the respect that they deserve? I'm going to tell you about the truth tellers. Disruptors and people who are truth tellers, they get us out of our comfort zone. And it feels very uncomfortable for someone to tell us the truth. Now, a lie, though it may sting, it ain't gonna last because you're like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm saying what needs to be said. This is the absolute truth and nothing but the truth, right? But truth tellers make us feel uncomfortable because we know we got to change. Because in and of itself, our mind is going to seek to, number one, conserve energy and to protect us. Routines and rhythms, just like you hitting a drum, it's going to keep us on beat, right? It's going to keep us on beat, and it helps to protect us. It helps to conserve our energy. So we're wanting to do the same thing day in and day out because at the core of who we are as humans, we need a rhythm to life. This is what tradition is good for, right? It's good to give us a rhythm to life. It helps keep us in alignment with whatever thing we're trying to, we have a tradition about. But you get somebody that tell you that it's a fly in the buttermilk, and you start now you looking at the fly in the buttermilk, but you like, yeah, but we drink buttermilk all the time. You don't really want to notice it's a fly in the buttermilk. And so that's what these three people that I want to talk about today, that's what they have done. That's why part of why I'm here. The truth hurt. The truth is like a slap in your face, but it's a slap that many of us need, and that to some degree, all of us need at some point in our life. We need the truth, right? And whether that means you're not comfortable with the truth that I'm telling, then move along. If you're not comfortable, and that's with anybody's platform. You're not forced. Your eyeballs are not forced open to watch anyone's platform. It's a choice. And if you're going to offer an opinion, then offer an opinion, but don't come in kicking the door in telling people XYZ what they doing on their platform. You need to stop that. You need to, well, what that's going to do, the person going to talk on. They're really going to talk on, but the disruptors are going to challenge your old mindsets. Challenge your old mindsets to help you understand that there is a more excellent way, or just the truth itself will do that. Now, I love me some Candace Owen because I don't care who you are, you cannot deny that the girl is super smart, super intelligent. And she ain't going along with stuff just because you black or just because. And yes, she is married to a white man. Who cares? We're talking about Candace Owen in and of her own right and who she is and XYZ. You cannot take away from her that she is intelligent and she knows her stuff. When she get to talking about something, she knows what she's talking about. You can go and research some of the stuff. Now, I'm not telling you I agree with everything that Owen is saying, but I do think that in this generation, Candace Owen is a disruptor in a good way. And I think that she is a prized representation of what Black intelligence is. Now, do we have to agree with her? No, we don't have to always agree with her. I don't think I agree with everything nobody say. There's nobody on this planet Earth that I say everything they say is 100%. There's nobody, right? Sometimes I have to even second guess myself when I learn better. I say, you know what, I used to think that, but I don't think that anymore because I got more information and I understand it better now, right? But is she a disruptor that is set in this generation to challenge the status quo? Absolutely. You're going to tell me nothing different because it is. Now, has she probably been wrong before and maybe some of her opinions are too strict? Maybe, right? But she is a disruptor, and I absolutely love it.
Became very apparent as I was growing up that I constantly liked to push back on people and just think critically, which is something that is so condemned nowadays. You are not at all at having this university experience or having the public school experience that I had encouraged to think critically. They want to tell you what to think, not how to think. And that is a big difference, being told what to think and being told how to think. Being told how to think means that you are allowed to push back, you are allowed to debate. It is the opposite when you are being told that you're not allowed to debate and when you are being shut down and you are being called names. Became very apparent.
I mean, because this is what I'm saying, you guys, and I agree with what she just said that we are missing critical thinking. And this is what I encourage as well on this platform because let's just face it, people value popular things instead of wisdom. If you're coming with a level of depth, you're probably going to get shut down, like she said, shunned, or they're going to cancel you because wisdom takes time to think about and mull over, and it challenges you to grow, which is not the easiest thing for most people. So, that is the big thing that society is missing. So, when I begin to think about something that somebody has said, I'm about to go digging. I'm about to go digging, especially if it hit me somewhere. I'm saying if it penetrated my mind to where I'm thinking about it, like, oh, that might be true. First of all, I'm gonna consider who is saying it. Who is this person that's saying this? What is their lens? What lens are they, what perspective are they speaking from? Because anything that I say is going to have some type of Christian lens on it. It's going to be from a godly point of view. It's going to be rooted in some type of biblical truth to some extent, right? Because there's still Alethea in there that has, that has an opinion. But I'm saying I'm speaking through Christian lens, which is Candace Owens' lens as well. Now, I'm not telling you that um, we don't miss the mark sometimes. I miss the mark sometimes. She misses the mark sometimes. We all do. But the basis of what she's saying is going to be through that lens. And that opinion is generally not popular. And that opinion takes time for some people to chew on. They may even disagree with you before they're able to get a little bit more, get a few more facts. And sometimes it takes somebody else to say it. Maybe they don't agree with you because you are a Christian and they understand that a Christian viewpoint is going to be based on the Bible or there it should be, right? Many times some of us it's not, but it should be. And that opinion that's rooted in wisdom and it has a little bit more depth to it, there is a little bit of delayed gratification. And I just think that it's a skill, it's a muscle that we can build. You can build on your critical thinking skills by thinking.
Comment and says, well, the problem with that is because it's only 36% of Americans have a valid passport, right? He commented and says, well, the number is so high because felons can't get passport. A quick Google search, I said, bro, that's not true. You're not on parole, you're on probation, you get a passport. Now, you may not be allowed in certain countries because of your criminal history, but you can still get a passport. So, like,
That ain't even a thing, man.
so that's what I'm saying. So,
as long as your probation officer lets you go, you straight.
but his perspective,
Right.
was only what somebody told him. An experience of a simple Google search would have changed that. It's something that small. Imagine what your perspective is on a lot of things in life. I had a guy comment.
By not just taking everything that any and everybody says as truth. I can remember some time ago, my godfather shared a book with me. He said, I'm going to share something with you," and he's a great thinker, and he reads a lot and has a lot of material and books and things like that, and so do I. And so every now and again he'll share something with me. So I'm going to send you some information, and I want you to tell me what you think. I want you to think. Tell me what you think. So I read the book. I said, okay, good information. It was something to the degree of, whether church should be held on Saturday or Sunday. So I said, okay. And when I called him back, I said, hey, I read the book. He said, okay, so what do you think? I'm excited. What did you think? So it was great information. It was great information. But I will say this: the person who wrote the book, they are 7-day Adventists, and 7-day Adventists have a legalistic viewpoint. They deal with a lot of, they have a lot of processes and rules in place in their religion. So I can see the person even speaking on this topic. I can see them speaking on this topic because they see things through rules and guidelines for the most part. There's a lot of good things about 7-day Adventists. I don't have anything against them, but you understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying the lens that they view things out of. It's has a lot to do with a lot of rules and guidelines to how things are supposed to go, and so does Christianity. So does Christianity, but just in a different kind of way. They are different. They have their similarities, but they do have their differences. And so I said, yeah, because see, when I read stuff, I'm gonna say, who wrote this? This is my critical, my analytical mind. I'm saying, who wrote this? Okay, so they got this viewpoint, and is there any truth to it? And I'm just going down my little list of things because I'm wrestling with it a little bit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just take it because you gave it. No, I'm gonna wrestle with it a little bit. And something that Candace Owens doesn't mention in that little clip is discernment. So your critical thinking is what you're going to do with your brain, with your mind. But then there's the spiritual element. Now I'm deciphering, is it right? Is it in alignment with my moral compass? For me, I'm gonna run it through scripture. Is there anything that I can find that comes into agreement with that statement in scripture? Does it seem right? You understand what I'm saying? So people that are of a have a depth of wisdom, that are our disruptors and our critical thinkers of this generation, they're going to challenge you to a level of depth that I think is so important to do. We're not just taking what you say, just because you say this. Oh, that's innocent. Okay, let's see. And anything that can't be challenged, we already know is a problem if it can't be challenged. Well, Alethea, I hear y'all out there. Well, Alethea, people don't like you challenging the Bible, but you should. You should. You should look into it. It should mean something when you say that you are a Christian. There should be something about it that is unfailable. If I'm going to devote my life to something, you better doggone well believe that I done looked into it, which is why I don't understand Christians that have not read Bible, which is the governing source. But again, right, that part. So Candace Owens ain't the only one. There's another one. There's Cat Williams. Now, Cat Williams is a comedian. So he makes us all laugh, right? He gives us all our medicine. Um, However, the level of intelligence is unmistakable. You can't I've seen him and I watch him because I think a lot of, especially when he's being interviewed, I think it's pretty amazing. Now, Cat Williams smoke a lot of weed, but I will tell you this: a drunk person and a high person, and I'm not saying that he's high all the time, their spirit is wide open. So, if you have been in the company of any old person, they'll tell you that a drunk man will tell you the truth quicker than a sober man will. Sober people the one that lie. And they say, well, he's high. Okay, if he was, he's even more a truth serum because that's what they used. Don't you know that's what they used to call alcohol truth serum? Drunk people would tell you the truth and walk off like they hadn't said a thing. But let's check out Cat Williams and why I say that he is so super intelligent. Now, do I believe every single thing that Cat Williams says? No. There's nobody that I believe everything that they say. And you shouldn't either. But do I believe that there's a level of intelligence that is divine? Absolutely.
Born in
All right.
Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio. What was Cat Williams' upbringing like? Your parents were Jehovah Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Cat Williams Crunk coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believed that. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set, you think you're one of the smartest people in the world,
Right.
Only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything, So it was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So yeah. It came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So at any point in time, did you like, man, I made a mistake, man. I should have stayed my butt in Ohio, man, because this ain't what I signed up for.
I didn't experience anything once I left home that I hadn't signed up for. If anything, it saved my life. Me being homeless for that small period of time allowed me to see all of the people that were in that situation and to see that these were lawyers and doctors and teachers, and that these people were white and black and Asian and Indian, and the only thing that all of these homeless people had in common was they made a bad decision and aligned themselves with drugs. And I interviewed them all. What drug? And guess what, Shannon? Nobody had a great story. Nobody had a great story of what meth had done for them, what crack had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them stories. Everybody's story was, I had my life together. And then I decided to do this dumb thing. And I lost my wife, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost my reputation, and I'm now out here in the woods. What? Talk about scared straight. You ain't got to worry about me. If it ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I done seen what these things can do to people. Anything that take over your free will is the devil itself.
Have you ever thought about?
So, yeah, you have to admit that if what Cat Williams has said about himself, being accepted into college, reading at 3 years old, these things are extraordinary, right? This is not the run of the mill type thing that happens to people, right? It is a bit of a prodigy that he would be if these things were true. And I tend to lean towards it being believable just because of how well spoken he is. And you really don't expect it because, quite frankly, Cat Williams gets on stage and he says a lot of foolery. And of course, he's going to have you laughing. He has a little bit of a crude sense of humor sometimes. But if what he is saying is true, which I lean towards a lot of it being believable, it's extraordinary. And I just believe that people that have that level of intelligence, they're not put here for no reason. They have a specific purpose that they're put here for. And I think a part of that purpose is for them to be a disruptor, for them to get you out of your the common mindset or the group think or the beehive mentality, and to show you that there is a more excellent way to get you to think critically, right? But Kat is not the only one. I think the last one that I really want to talk about is Monique. Now, the thing you got to understand about Monique, she also is a comic, and she has a little bit of a crude sense of humor. But one thing that I can say about her is that she also is a little bit ahead of her time in her thinking, even though she's a little bit older than me, not that by that much, but she's ahead of her time in her thinking and her truth telling. Generally, when people begin to tell the truth about some things, the common person is not ready to receive it. So, society, when she said what she said about all of I mean, and she went at some high ranking millionaire and billionaires, right? Some of the one percenters of the world. But she told the truth of the matter. Now, do I agree with every single thing? Again, I'm telling you, no, I don't agree with everything that Monique has done, but I applaud the bravery and the call out for some of the things that were done to her that were of an injustice. You have to advocate for yourself, you guys. And I'm not talking about just on your job. I mean, well, yeah, that is her job. Yeah, yeah. So, specifically on your job, I have experienced that. People will let you go along and just work yourself down to the ground. And if you don't ever speak up for yourself and say, hey, where my money at? I can't keep doing this. I can't keep traveling over here doing this and you adding this on and adding that on. Where my money at? If you never do it, you better believe that they're not going to object to you working yourself all the way down to the ground. Anybody can understand that. And when she started to talk about these bonnets and these women, society sought to cancel her. They wanted to silence her. They're like, don't you talk about black women? You want to tear black women down? Why we do that when it's time for accountability? When it's time for us to be told, no, black woman, you are wrong. You wear too much makeup, black woman. You need to take those bonnets off your head, black woman. You shooting off your mouth too much, black woman. You need to be a little bit more quieter. You need to act like a lady. Stop fighting in the street, black woman. Why is it that when it's time to take accountability, they want to silence that person who challenged them to take accountability for their actions and to change? And this is not anything new. Society does this to the great thinkers of our time. Everybody from scientists to philosophers, people have done that too. But I will tell you this: truth has a way of catching up to life and to society. And the very first thing we say is, well, Monique said it. He said it. Einstein said it. Now, the person long gone, you done shut them down. We done canceled them. We done done all manner of things to them when they were just telling the truth. It disrupted our regularly scheduled program, literally. So I want you to take a look at this. This is where she really kind of got into trouble with society, and people didn't like her holding black women's feet to the fire. Was what she said wrong? I don't think so at all. I think it needed to be said. I've seen it. Now, there is a generational thing that is going on because people of my generation, Generation X, we understand a level of decency. I can say all of us, but for the most part. But then there are some generations that kind of struggle with the nakedness or the understanding what's appropriate and what's not, because every outfit is not appropriate for every environment, right? So let's take a look at Monique and what she has to say.
Hey, my sweet babies. So, um, it took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment, and I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love. Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie, and I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie gotta talk to her babies and say some real shit. So, yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? And we got 3 shows tonight. We got a matinee at 5:30, then we got 7, then we got 10, right? And I'm excited. I always love going to the stage. So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it. So my sweet babies, for the ones that do call.
Yeah, and I know that these clips are a little bit older, but I wanted to take a different view of them. I wanted to look at these clips through a different lens as to say, these are some of the great thinkers of our generation. And I just believe that the truth of the matter is that society does not celebrate the great thinkers, at least not right away. I believe that for the most part, society says that, okay, the fads, the trends, the things that are easily digestible, the things that we could just stuff in our minds without any thought, those are the things that people generally enjoy. But when someone steps on the scene to challenge the status quo, or they call you out, or things of that sort, society does not tend to like that very much. People don't like to think. They don't like to use their brains. They don't like to mull things over. They don't like to investigate, read books, all those things that causes you to be enlightened. So, all I'm telling you is I want you to start to think about things a little bit more critically. Don't just take whatever somebody feeding you and just gobble it up and chew it down. That's or should I say chew it up and gobble it down? That's just really not wise. So anybody that you're watching, go research the information if it's important to you. If not, it's just as simple as a swipe, right? That's all I have to say, you guys. I'm just telling you this so you know. And maybe if you are people are trying to silence you and they are trying to cancel you, maybe it's because you're leading in thought. Maybe your thought is before its time. And I don't think anything necessarily happens before its time, but maybe the world just has not caught up with you yet. So listen, if you have enjoyed this show, you have learned something different, you've chuckled one or two times, it's something that you never saw before or heard before, listen, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you'll know what other conversations I got coming up next. And until next time, be good to yourself. But if you can't, just be good to somebody else. I'll talk to you guys back real soon. Till next time.